After spending the last 4 months using the iPhone 16 Pro, it's time to switch things up. This is the iPhone 16 Plus. Unboxing the iPhone 16 Plus is a familiar experience, clean, minimal and classic Apple. Inside the box you'll find just the essentials, the iPhone itself and a high quality braided USB-C cable. No extras, just the essentials for getting started. Focusing on the design, this is undoubtedly one of the phone's standout features. Despite its expansive 6.7-inch display, the iPhone 16 Plus feels anything but bulky. Remarkably, it weighs the same as the smaller iPhone 16 Pro, making it incredibly comfortable to use and carry even with a screen this size. The design is achieved through Apple's careful selection of materials, a matte glass back paired with sleek aluminium sides. This combination not only keeps the phone remarkably lightweight, but also resists fingerprints, ensuring that it maintains a pristine look with minimal effort. There's something refreshing about this. Without the heavy glass back or glossy finish often found on higher end models, the iPhone 16 Plus feels far more natural in the hand. In fact, I actually prefer the design of these non-Pro iPhones in many ways. The lightweight construction means you don't feel it in your pocket nearly as much, reminiscent of the more portable, less cumbersome iPhones of the past. The aluminium build gives the device a subtle yet premium feel, and the absence of glossy surfaces that attract fingerprints adds to its appeal. It's a simple, practical design that just looks fantastic. The iPhone 16 Plus comes in a variety of colours also, each offering a fun, vibrant option, but they all retain that clean, refined look when held in person. The white finish in particular exudes an understated elegance, making this phone a true pleasure to look at and use. Every detail feels thoughtfully considered and carefully executed, giving the iPhone 16 Plus a distinct and timeless charm that makes it one of those devices you might actually want to use without a case, something I'm genuinely fond of. There's an undeniable simplicity and ease with this design that I really do love. The iPhone 16 Plus features a stunning 6.7-inch Super Retina XDR display, an all-screen OLED panel that's bright, sharp, and perfect for enjoying content on a larger canvas. And for the first time, Apple have also brought their Dynamic Island to the non-Pro models. I've been a fan of the Dynamic Island since its debut, and it's great to see Apple extending this feature across the lineup. It's not just a design element, it's a thoughtful integration of hardware and software that makes notifications and live activities feel seamless and interactive. Including it on the iPhone 16 Plus creates a more unified experience, and I think it's a fantastic addition for users who don't opt for the Pro models. However, one feature I do miss is Apple's ProMotion technology, which is exclusive to the Pro variants. Now, I'll admit, this is not something I ever expected to notice on a non-Pro iPhone. I've always believed that most users wouldn't care about refresh rates, let alone be able to tell the difference. But after spending months with the 16 Pro, switching to this display feels different. The absence of ProMotion's smooth 120Hz refresh rate is noticeable. Scrolling and animations sometimes feel slower and less fluid, almost laggy at times. While you can adjust settings to reduce motion, it's not an ideal solution, and it's certainly not how I prefer to use my iPhone. Another feature missing here is the always-on display, something Apple reserves for its Pro lineup. If you're coming from a Pro model and have grown accustomed to checking your screen for time, notifications, or even just glancing at a photo widget without touching your phone, this is a feature you'll need to give up when switching to the standard iPhone 16. It's a small detail, but one that can make a significant difference in your day-to-day use. That said, your experience may vary. If these features are not deal breakers for you, you're still getting a beautiful display, one that's perfect for watching videos, gaming, or browsing, thanks to its vibrant colours and impressive brightness. My advice? Try this device in person before you buy. If the motion and missing features don't bother you, the display won't disappoint. But If they do, the Pro iPhone might be the better choice. If you've been following my videos, you already know I'm obsessed with the iPhone's camera system. Year after year, it continues to set the standard for smartphone photography and videography, and the iPhone 16 Plus is no exception. This might not be a Pro model, but it still delivers that signature Apple experience when it comes to photos. Shots are sharp, vibrant and well balanced, exactly what you'd expect from an iPhone. For anyone upgrading from a previous model or switching to an iPhone for the first time, this camera is unlikely to disappoint. That said, there are a few trade-offs to consider. Since this isn't part of the Pro lineup, you're missing the dedicated telephoto lens, 4K 120 frames per second video recording, and the 48 megapixel ultra-wide sensor found on the Pro models. These features are great for enthusiasts or professionals, but for most users, the standard camera system on the 16 Plus delivers excellent results. Now, let's talk about the new camera control button Apple introduced this year. If you watched my iPhone 16 Pro review, you'll know I'm not a fan of this feature. It feels like it was added for the sake of having something new to talk about, but in practice, it's unnecessary. The on-screen controls already give you quick access to the camera, and the button doesn't really add anything meaningful. I've even gone as far as to disable the feature that turns the button into a menu. I kept accidentally adjusting settings I didn't mean to, and so now the button's sole purpose on my iPhone is to snap a photo, which really seems pointless as I could already do that with the volume button. So in its current state, the camera control button feels redundant. That said, I'm hopeful Apple can improve this feature through software updates over time. There's definitely potential here, but right now, it's just not working for me. The iPhone 16 Plus has so much more to offer, key areas that require a lot more testing to get the complete picture. So far, the camera system has shown impressive results, producing high quality images and videos that align with the exceptional standards we expect from the latest iPhone models. However, as time progresses, it will be interesting to compare how this model stacks up against the Pro variants and whether any noticeable differences in quality emerge. When it comes to performance, the new A18 chip powers this device with a 5-core GPU, a step down from the 6-core GPU found in the Pro models. I'll be looking at how this affects demanding tasks such as gaming, editing, and overall responsiveness. Alongside this, Apple Intelligence plays a key role in user experience with advanced AI-driven features designed to improve usability and productivity. A closer look will determine how well these features integrate into the iPhone 16 Plus experience and whether it holds up to the performance of the Pro models. Finally, battery life. The Plus models have long been known for their impressive endurance, and early impressions suggest the iPhone 16 Plus will continue this trend. Still, the full review will provide more clarity on whether it can consistently deliver the exceptional battery life that's expected from a Plus-sized iPhone. For anyone interested, I'll be dropping the full in-depth review on my channel very soon, so get subscribed and stay tuned. Apple's iPhone 16 Plus offers a truly compelling experience, blending cutting-edge technology with Apple's signature design philosophy. With its expansive 6.7-inch Super Retina XDR display, its lightweight build and intuitive features, it provides an ideal balance of performance and aesthetics. While it does lack certain features found in the Pro models, such as the telephoto lens, ProMotion display, and always-on functionality, it still delivers an outstanding experience that will impress the casual user. That being said, there is still so much more testing to be done in order to determine exactly who this iPhone is best suited for, and whether it even stands as a compelling option compared to current Pro models or even last year's iPhone 15 Pro. So, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and if you are still watching up to now, then hit the thumbs up button and think about subscribing to the channel to see lots more content like this. For now though, thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.